I am haunted by the spectre of lost opportunity.
I have never met one person in my entire life going back all the way to 1999 when Ian McKellen was announced as Gandalf in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Nobody has ever said to me, "Nah, no, this wasn't that good." No, everybody knows that Ian McKellen was clearly the best possible choice to play Gandalf. Thank the Lord, Sean Connery didn't get the role because they did send the script to him. However, with The Hunt for Gollum coming out, right, the new film that Peter Jackson will be producing, I think, helping to write, along with Andy Serkis directing, the story of Aragorn and Gandalf finding Gollum, getting the information out of him getting to Thranduil's halls and then escaping, and then it culminates essentially with the Council of Elrond, where they're told all this information. The question remains, what do we do with Gandalf? Will Ian McKellen come back and play the role of Gandalf? Well, maybe. I think he'd be up for it. Here's what happened. There is an article that came out on the Sunday Times where it discusses with Ian McKellen his favorite theater roles, and it starts with the new play. I believe it's called Player Kings. It is a 3-hour plus condensation right here of Shakespeare's Henry IV, parts 1 and 2. And they asked him, after going through this here, where he plays Falstaff, a fan favorite kind of character you kind of love to hate to love to hate. But they asked him, right, what's going on with him and Gandalf? So he said this: he has heard too that there are stirrings in Tolkien land. It was recently announced that Peter Jackson will produce and Andy Serkis will direct a new Lord of the Rings film, The Hunt for Gollum, due to be released in 2026. Could McKellen once again reprise his most famous role as the wizard Gandalf? Thanks to Falstaff, he's already got the long white locks for it, and I haven't shaved in months, he says happily. He's heard that Gandalf will feature, but there is no script. There is no offer. There is no plan. He might be interested, though. He pauses, then chuckles. If I'm alive. Okay, like Ian McKellen, stay alive. Right? I think if we had anybody else play Gandalf, it would be a tragedy, a travesty. It wouldn't feel right. Of all the things that I disliked in Peter Jackson's films, and when I first saw it, there were many. I did not like Faramir. I didn't like Arwen saving Frodo. I didn't like the Wizard's duel between Gandalf and Saruman and Orthanc. There's a lot I didn't like. What I did like, though, was McKellen's portrayal of Gandalf. I don't think I could have asked for a better portrayal of Gandalf. I could have asked for a better portrayal of pretty much anyone else, but he alone was the pinnacle of what, like, he created the Gandalf I saw in my head, and I think that's what made it so real to me. So we do get that from him, that if he's alive, he'd certainly be open to it. Let's get this show on the road, because if anything will make that movie better, it would be Ian McKellen coming back to play Gandalf. Now, this is him in character as Falstaff, so don't judge him too harshly here. It's not, they could not be further apart, these characters, so Gandalf would be completely different. But one of the things that, in this, reading this whole article, and I'll put a link down below, you can read it too. One of the things that I thought was indicative of the quality of his performance was that as an actor, he wrote this, or they wrote this here. As an actor, though, he knows nothing is forever. He also thinks he's on an upward curve. At 85, he thinks he's on an upward curve. I don't know if people in other jobs are conscious of getting better at what they do, but it's been a matter of pride to me that I'm better at acting now than I was when I started. Yeah. I think if you look back at all his roles, like, it really culminated with Gandalf, and and he's still incredible as an actor. If you've ever seen him in any production, any theatrical production, highly recommended. Go and check it out. And he talks here below about what his favorite roles are. We go through his 5 favorite roles: his Falstaff, his current one in Player Kings, Claudio and Much Ado About Nothing. And the funny thing is here is I like this quote: I was overwhelmed and I left the company. There was simply too much competition, right? He was in there with Albert Finney, and I think Laurence Olivier, Lynn Redgrave, right? There were so many great characters, so many great actors in this, that he was overwhelmed, right? He there was too much competition. He didn't think like he was getting his due. And This is what Laurence Olivier said to him. And I think it holds true, because what an opportunity would be missed if he doesn't play Gandalf in The Hunt for Gollum.
I am haunted by the spectre of lost opportunity.
Oh, yes. It would be a lost opportunity if they don't get the show on the road for The Hunt for Gollum. So are we hoping for Ian McKellen to play Gandalf? Absolutely. Is there anybody else who could do it? Oh, no, man, that would be so hard. You guys remember what they did with Solo when he replaced Harrison Ford? Not good. Not good. Not enough time has passed to replace Ian McKellen at this point. So he's still there. He's still acting. Let's get it going. Let's get him in the role as Gandalf. And let's see The Hunt for Gollum. Look, if there's any movie I'm more interested than others that are coming out, including War of the Rohirrim, including anything to do with the Rings of Power, it's The Hunt for Gollum, simply because we've seen the chops that Peter Jackson and his team can bring to a good rendition of Middle Earth. We saw The Hobbit. I'm not too keen on that. We saw The Hobbit, and there were some mistakes made, but he was essentially, there was a train bearing down on him, and he was running just to keep ahead of this train bearing down on him, trying to film this movie and get it out. And anyway, there's a lot in The Hobbit that could have been improved. I'm hoping we get more towards The Lord of the Rings and less towards The Hobbit. If they keep it to one film, I think that's good. They mentioned there could be two films, but they didn't say that these two films would be The Hunt for Gollum. So we'll see. But the one thing they have to do, absolutely 100%, get Ian McKellen. Don't let this opportunity pass him by. All right, guys, what do you think? If there is anybody else who you think could play Gandalf, right? We saw it with Harry Potter back in the early 2000s where they replaced Dumbledore. Can you replace Gandalf? Man, to me, it's just too soon. It's too soon. Anyway, put your comments below. Thanks for listening. There'll be more news soon. Take care.